What's up, everybody? Hope y'all had a good day today, and I hope you have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for those who do tune in, whether you agree with my views, whether you don't. Well, it's not really my views because I'm bringing facts. So, I mean, if you don't like facts, then I guess. But hey, thank you still for your views. Thank you for the support. Um, Yeah, just thank you. So I'm going to pick up from where I left off. I was talking about the occupation of Israel and the occupation of the real Israel, meaning Negroes. So the occupation of Israel, and I had been speaking about different peoples who have occupied us, like the Greeks, the Romans, the Persians, the Medes. Um, so I'm picking up here, starting at the Byzantine Eastern Greek speaking Romans period, and that is 324 through 638 AD. Fun stuff. And like I said, before I even get into all, I know that my content is not, commentary like what I hear St. James and a few others, which is I like those people. I watch their stuff. I watch. I keep my ear out on what's going on, but that's not what I am here to do per se. Um, so I get it. You're not gonna find no drama here. Who's sleeping with who, and in the church and stuff like that. No, this is about the history, and this is about false doctrines and things of that nature. So my channel ain't for everybody. It is for everybody, but it ain't for everybody because you know what they say about black folk. You want to hide anything from black folk, put it in the book. So, and that's not shade. That's just truth. But I like to read. So I'm gonna pick up here the Byzantine Eastern Greek speaking Romans period 324 AD through 638 AD. The Byzantine Empire was the predominantly Greek speaking true Israelites continuation of the eastern half of the Roman Empire during late antiquity and the Middle Ages. Its capital city was Constantinople, modern day Istanbul. Originally known as Byzantium, often called the Eastern Roman Empire in this context. It survived the 5th century fragmentation and fall of the Western Roman Empire and continued to exist for an additional 1,000 years until it fell to the Ottoman Turks in 1453 AD. At this time, in the province of Palestine/Israel, were living under the rule of the Byzantines, under whom there were two more revolts and three Samaritan revolts. Under the oppression, the Israelites lived in at least 43 communities in Palestine/Israel, 12 towns on the coast, in the Negev and east of the Jordan, and 31 villages in Galilee and in the Jordan Valley. In 438 AD, the Empress Eudocia removed the ban on Israelites praying at the temple site, and the heads of the community in Galilee issued a call to the great and mighty people of Israel. Know that the end of the exile of our people has come. In 613 AD, an Israelite revolt against the Byzantine Empire, coming for to aid of the Persian invaders, erupted. The converts gained autonomy in Jerusalem for 5 years, but were frustrated with its limitations. At that time, the Persians betrayed the agreements with the converts and were expelled from Jerusalem. The Byzantine Emperor Heraclius then managed to overcome the Persian forces with the aid of Israelite converts leader Benjamin of Tiberias. Nevertheless, he betrayed the converts too and put thousands of convert refugees to flight from Palestine to Egypt. Hold up, a quick lesson for you. And so now we're getting into the Catholic investigation because, as you know, I have been speaking about the Catholics. I've been pretty much giving you the history on the Catholics, pretty much what they believe in. And so this is coming almost full circle because now we're going to get into the Catholics, even down to the word Catholic, where it comes from. And so this is called the Catholic Investigation, the Byzantine Empire, and it's by Brother Zachariah, powerful brother. Like I said, you can find him on Facebook. And so this is pretty much reinforcing what I have already said. And so the table of contents: 1, the etymology of the word Catholic; 2, the original Christians were martyred Israelites; 3, the Holy Roman Byzantine Empire; 4, the fall of Constantinople; 5, the Roman Catholic States; 6, King James / Jacob; and 7, references. The word Catholic, from its etymological meaning, has nothing to do with a religion. The term Catholic originally had a different meaning from what it represents today in the Roman Catholic Church. In this lesson, we will study this word to gain understanding of the difference between Catholic universal knowledge and Roman Catholic theological knowledge. BS, aka big white lies that are not so little. Universal Catholic knowledge is the knowledge that King James, who was a black man, was raised by, which is correct. But the theological Catholic knowledge garbage is what the Roman Catholic Church teaches today. According to the Bible, the scribes, teachers, and translators of the word of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were Israelites. Psalms 147, King James Version, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. Etymology of the word Catholic. According to the etymology of the word Catholic derives from the word universal. Universal in its whole, otherwise known as the study of the universe and all that is created in it. This type of knowledge was called the truth. And often you'll hear me talk about the truth. When I came into the truth, and I've been in the truth this long. This type of knowledge was called the truth during the time of Christ and the apostles. Let's first gain the understanding of the word etymology, then prove where the word Catholic originally gets its meaning. Merriam-Webster's Dictionary, Etymology. Full definition 1. The history of a linguistic form as a word shown by tracing its development since its earliest recorded occurrence in the language where it is found, by tracing its transmission from one language to another, by analyzing it into its component part, by identifying its cognates in other languages, or by tracing it and its cognates to a common ancestral form in an ancestral language. Okay, and now we're going to look at the word Catholic. Oxford Etymology Dictionary, Catholic. universal, specifically of the Christian church. And this is 14, but it's in Roman numerals. Uh, Member of the Catholic Church, 15, of Catholic, or its source, Catholicus, Catholicos, general, universal, as kata in respect of kata plus holos, whole, hence Catholicism, Catholicize, and then 17, Catholicity, and that's 19. You'll see it when I show it to you, but some of these numbers are in Roman numerals. According to the Oxford etymology of the word Catholic, this word derives from the word universal, which is the study of the universe. The only people who taught this type of knowledge during the Roman Empire were Israelites, starting from Christ, Peter, Paul, and the apostles. When Christ gave the understanding of the law and prophecies to the disciples, what Christ taught was not known as Catholic/universal knowledge or even Christianity. Keep in mind, there was no New Testament, not even Paul's letters. Christ and the apostle called it the truth, not a religion. An example, Christianity. The knowledge, aka religion, that is currently taught by the Roman Catholic Church is not the same universal knowledge and understanding that the apostles learned from Christ, which is the truth based on the Torah and Tanakh. The Catholic knowledge of today does not teach universal knowledge. It teaches theological knowledge, which is the study of the unknown God, mixed with Greek mythology and other idol worship that stems from Egyptology. Romans 1, King James Version, verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. The Catholic, aka universal knowledge of Christ and the apostles, founded what we know today as the first universities that taught the truth. They were the 7 churches that were scattered throughout Asia Minor. At the start of the Dark Ages, a formerly Hellenized Israelite by the name of Constantine established the first central location for a mother church, aka university, which became the foundation of the Orthodox Catholic Church. This is the Catholic universal knowledge that King James of the Stuart dynasty was raised to know. King James of the Stuart dynasty was a black man, and I'm going to show that later. Although the Byzantine Empire was not perfect and Constantine's level of wisdom was probably on the level of the Pharisees because his main influence stemmed from the former Roman Empire, they were Israelites still the same who had not tampered with the written records of our ancestors. What Constantine established during the Byzantine Empire was not the foundation of a religion such as Christianity or a Christian nationality. It was a university that those who followed the teachings of Christ through the apostles could go to achieve a universal understanding of the universe and everything in it that was created by the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob based on the Torah, Tanakh, Apocrypha, and the Gospels. All right, Wisdom of Solomon 13, King James Version. Surely vain are all men by nature who are ignorant of God and could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster, but deemed either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the stars or the violent water or the lights of heaven to be the gods which govern the world. with whose beauty, if they, being delighted, took them to be gods. Let them know how much better the Lord of them is, for the first author of beauty hath created them. That is what universal Catholic knowledge is. It's the study of the universe and the known God, aka the truth. The university that Constantine built was established during the Byzantine Empire during the Dark Ages. That's when black people ruled Europe and Germany. During the Dark Ages, after Rome was overthrown by a black Israelite by the name of Septimius Severus, approximately 227 AD. Who is Septimius Severus, you ask? Well, let's us learn about him really quick. A lesson inside of a lesson. I know, right? Before we go into that, though, one moment. Like I said, you can always pause this. You want to read it if I move too fast. Catholic, Catholicus, Catholicos. All right, Septimius Severus, the Black Horse, The Beginning of the Dark Ages by Zachariah Septimius Severus, that was Emperor of Rome from approximately 193 AD to 211 AD. This is the part of Black history that goes untold. The focus of this lesson will be on this particular individual because after Jerusalem fell by the Roman Empire in 70 AD, our ancestors became refugees in Africa to escape Roman slavery. The Romans was white folk, Esau, Idumea, Edom. During this time period, all regions inside the Fertile Crescent were ruled by the Roman Empire. Rome ruled what was known as the known world. This included the north and west region of Africa. Approximately 120 years after the Roman siege of Jerusalem, Rome was taken over from within its own government by a black Hebrew Israelite by the name of Septimius Severus. Septimius Severus was born in North Africa in the country of Libya. He joined the Roman army and eventually worked his way up the ranks and became Emperor of Rome and ushered in a time in history known as the Dark Ages. The Dark Ages marks the fall of the Roman Empire, the white folk, and the beginning of the black Hebrew Israelites ruling in Europe for 1,000 years. Some may know them as the Moors, but they are the black Hebrew Israelites. Yes, our ancestors ruled ancient Rome before it fell. Europe is named after an African queen named Europa. Jeremiah 14, King James Version, verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates therefore thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. Starting from the beginning to prove this fact about Septimius Severus, according to the Bible, the real Jews are dark-skinned, and our skin tone ranges from many different shades of brown, like the earth. God warned our ancestors that he would remove the 12 tribes of Israel from our land if we wouldn't stop worshiping and following idol gods. Deuteronomy 28, King James Version, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Ancient Rome, and like I said, the stone represents the Kaaba stone that the Muslims, who was invented by the Roman Catholic Church, they stick their head in. It's the Kaaba stone over in Mecca that they all worship. It's that black stone. Well, on one of the corners, they got a representation of the female body part, and they pay top dollar to stick their head in. I can't believe people think stuff like that is holy. It's ridiculous. But anyway, there was no Muslims or Islam before the 7th century. That's a fact. The Bible predates their Quran. That's a fact. Even in the Quran, it tells you that the children of Israel are the blessed one, are the chosen. That is a fact. Minister Louis Farrakhan have already told you black people are the Israelites. That is a fact. Malcolm X also knew that black people were the Israelites. That is a fact. So, yes, the stone represents Islam and all of that, and the wood represents the fake Christianity that the Roman Catholic Church also started, with the whole idol worship with Christ being on a cross, because we all know that our Savior is no longer on a cross, which is made out of wood. He defeated that. So that's, a false doctrine of Christianity. The Bible doesn't teach Christianity. But even wood and stone, ancient Rome took power from the Greek Empire and eventually became the Greco-Romans to the Roman Empire. Rome came into complete power over the known world at approximately 197 BC. Throughout the process of a number of invasions of our ancestors who lived in Israel by former ruling kingdoms such as the Babylonian Empire, the Persian and Mede Empire, the Greek Empire, to the Roman Empire. Our people have been scattered out of our homeland and taken away as slaves and refugees into foreign lands. During the time period of Christ, the Roman Empire was the ruling nation over the known world. Christ prophesied about the remaining Israelites fleeing from our homeland entirely, and we will become completely scattered out of our land. Here is the prophecy that Christ warned his disciples about, which describes how our people being removed during the Roman Empire in 70 AD. Luke 21, King James Version, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Christ was letting the disciples know that our people would have to leave from Israel and flee the destruction that was brought on by the Roman Empire. You can find this prophecy happened in real-time history. Rome attacked Israel and took it over completely in 70 AD. There also is a book called From Babylon to Timbuktu, written by an archaeologist named Rudolph R. Windsor, who also studied the siege by the Roman Empire. And just going to read something from him. From Babylon to Timbuktu, written by Rudolph R. Windsor, page 84. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey, captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jew slaves. I mean, it didn't say nothing about the Ashkenaz. It didn't say nothing about them. Did they ever go through slavery? That's how you know. Them not the people that's over there right now. Luke 21, King James Version, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. Sound familiar? I mean, what's going on today? Ain't nothing new under the sun. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captives into all nations. Hello? Did this not happen? Who did this happen to? And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Again, backing up the prophecy that Christ prophesied to his people that we will be refugees in Africa. Not only did we flee into Africa, but we were also taken as slaves, mainly to a city called Pompeii in Rome. But Septimius Severus was not from Rome. He was from North Africa, where our people had fled. Rome had rulership all the way down into the northern part of Africa. Here is proof of how he became emperor of Rome. Septimius Severus, the African Emperor, by Anthony R. Burleigh. By Anthony R. Burleigh. Septimius Severus, Latin, Lucius Septimius Severus Augustus, for April 11, 145 through February 4th, 211. Also known as Severus, was Roman emperor from 193 to 211. Severus was born in Leptis Magna in the Roman province of Africa. As a young man, he advanced through the cursus honorum, the customary succession of offices under the reigns of Marcus Aurelius and Commodus. Severus seized power after the death of Emperor Pertinax in 193 during the year of the 5 emperors. Notice it tells you that he was born in North Africa. Here is the proof of his lineage, mother and father. World Heritage Encyclopedia. World Heritage Encyclopedia. Septimius Severus, born on April 11th, 145, at Leptis Magna in present-day Libya, as the son of Publius Septimius Geta and Fulvia, 2. Septimius Severus came from a wealthy and distinguished family of equestrian rank. He had Italian Roman ancestry on his mother's side and descended from Punic and perhaps also Libyan forebears on his father's side. As you can see, while Septimius Severus had a Roman Caucasian mother, his father was not of Italian descent. According to the Bible, your father determines your nationality. Libya is located west of Egypt in Africa, where black Jews fled from the Roman siege of 70 AD. Also, Severus by A.R. Burleigh, 1971. Severus or Septimius Severus, Lucius Septimius Severus, key 146 through 211, Roman Emperor 193 through 211, Africa. He was campaigning in Pannonia and Illyria when the Emperor Commodus was murdered. His successor, Pertinax, lasted 3 months before he too was assassinated. The Praetorian Guards arranged the succession of the weak Didius Julianus. Is that where Diddy got his name from? Didius? With the empire in disarray, Severus marched on Rome, proclaimed emperor. Severus went to the east to overthrow Pescennius Niger. You know Niger means black. The governor of Syria, who had also been proclaimed emperor by his legions. Severus defeated 194 the pretender. He took 196 Byzantium and subdued the rebellious Arabs of Mesopotamia. Returning to the west, he defeated 197 Clodius Albinus, another pretender, in Gaul, and returning eastward attacked and expelled 198 the Parthians from Mesopotamia. In 208, Severus went to Britain. From there he harassed Scotland, but he died at York before completing his plans for a large invasion. Severus built a strong army, increasing the number of legions while eliminating the large commands that had been common for Rome, thus protecting himself against being overthrown while he protected Rome. He ruled with vigor, and when he found it useful, a calculated cruelty. Caracalla succeeded him. Rome was burned to the ground shortly after Septimius Severus was assassinated, approximately 227 AD. This was the beginning of the Dark Ages. After our ancestors took over and burned Rome to the ground, the white Romans who had escaped fled into the Caucasus Mountains, located in South Georgia, Russia. They later became the Khazarians, aka the Ashkenazi Jewish converted bastards. They was the same people who claimed that they got put into a concentration camp and the Holocaust, but that was fake too. I already showed you. It's called A Real Big Receipt. You can watch it. It's about the Holocaust and one of their own, proving that it was a hoax. Yeah, but they fled into the Caucasus Mountains, located in South Georgia, Russia, between the Black and Caspian Sea. They later on became the Khazars, aka the fake Astor Jewish people of today that I go in on later. This is also when the term Caucasian came to be known. It is this time in history that white people once again became cave dwellers in the Caucasus Mountains. The Geico commercial. They put it in your face. They lived a barbaric lifestyle because it was prophesied that they will live by the sword. Remember Genesis 25 through chapter 27 when Isaac gave Jacob Esau's blessing. And Isaac told Esau he will live by the sword. They lived a barbaric lifestyle for 1,000 years during the Dark Ages after Rome was burned to the ground. This was when the Moors found them in them caves because they were sleeping with their animals. And we taught them how to read, write, and bathe. We taught them how to read. We taught them how to write. We taught them how to bathe. They lived a barbaric lifestyle for 1,000 years during the Dark Ages after Rome was burned to the ground. White people were not cavemen billions of years ago. They entered into the Caucasus Mountains approximately 1,729 years ago, and that is where they need to go back to. Wake up, Judah. This is why it's important to know history. When you see those Geico caveman commercials, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, that is the white man's history. The elite who run Hollywood loves to do stuff like that. They always put it right in our face. That's the best place to hide things. Just like with Constantine. Ooh, see? No, I can't say that. Just like with Constantine, Angels and Demons, The Matrix and the Terminator movie series, these movies are known to be inspired by the Bible. Yeah. That's why it's very important to know history, to know these movies come, a lot of these movies come straight from the Bible. Septimius Severus, The African Emperor by Anthony R. Burleigh. Septimius Severus, Lucius Septimius Severus Augustus, April 11th, 145, February 4th, 211, also known as Severus, was Roman emperor from 193 to 211. Severus was born in Leptis Magna in the Roman province of Africa. As a young man, he advanced through the cursus honorum, the customary succession of offices under the reigns of Marcus Aurelius and Commodus. Severus seized power after the death of Emperor Pertinax in 193 during the Year of the Five Emperors. Here is proof that the word university derives from the word universal, which is the etymology of the word Catholic. Oxford Dictionary. University, body of teachers and scholars engaged in the higher branches of learning in a certain place. And this is 14. Universite. University. Universitas. The whole number of the universe. Parentheses and later. Juridical language, society, corporation, universitas, see university. The term university derived from the same name universal. This word universal refers to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. During the Byzantine Empire, this universal knowledge was known as Catholic knowledge during the Dark Ages, but it was first known as the truth. This type of knowledge superseded the knowledge of all Egyptology, Greek mythology, and theology. which was the study of Theos, the unknown God. The term Catholic today is taught in a theological way of learning about the unknown God. But when the Apostle Paul went to Athens, Greece to teach the Israelites that were scattered in that region, their universal wisdom and understanding of who Theos, God, was, gave those Israelites living in Athens a Catholic, aka universal, whole understanding of who the creator of heaven and earth is. The people who Paul and the apostles were teaching weren't Greeks, they were Israelites who lived among Greeks and took on their ideals, cultures, and nationality. These Greek speaking Jews that Paul taught were known as Hellenic Jews, which studied Greek mythology. All right, Acts 17, King James Version, verse 16. Now, while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. Therefore, disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him. Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him, and some said, what will this babbler say? Others, some, he seemeth to be a setter forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Jesus and the resurrection, Yeshua and the resurrection. And they took him and brought him to Areopagus, saying, may we know what this new doctrine whereof thou speakest is. For thou bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know therefore what these things mean. For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else, but either to tell or to hear something, or some new thing. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, to the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship him, declare I unto you, that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands. Oh Lord, the church don't like to hear that. Don't like to hear what? Seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands. That. Notice, out of all the other idols that were there in Athens, Paul focuses on this one altar that is set up to the unknown God. Keep in mind, Paul did not speak against this particular altar. He edified and taught the Israelites in Athens about who the unknown God really is, which is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Here is proof that Theos, aka the unknown God, is really referring to the Most High, Ahia, Ashar, Ahia, which is Hebrew for I am that I am. He gave his name to Masha, Moshe, or Moses in Exodus 3, verse 14. But instead of putting Ahia or Ahia, Ashar, Ahia, they put I am that I am. That's the meaning of his name. So that's just like if you was to read the Bible and everywhere where you see Moses, it says, to draw from the water came with them. Or to draw from water, Aaron and Miriam. They gave you the meaning of his name. So, his name is Ahia, Ashar, Ahia. I am that I am. Exodus 6, King James Version, verse 2. And God spake unto Moses and said unto him, I am the Lord. And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty. But my name Jehovah was I not known to them. So it should be, but my name Ahiah was I not known to them. And Isaiah 45 verse 4, for Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. Strong's Concordance, Theos, God, a God original word, and then it gives it to you in the Greek. This is how God looks in Greek. Reading on in the definition, part of speech, noun feminine, noun masculine, transliteration, theos, phonetic spelling, theos, short definition, God, definition, A, God, 23:16, theos, of unknown origin, properly God, the creator and owner of all things, long before the New Testament was written. 23:16, theos, referred to the supreme being who owns and sustains all things. Amen. That's the truth. He wasn't ugly. All of our ancestors had pictures of themselves. One thing that I am proud to have seen was I even seen alleged drawings of Adam and Eve. They knew how to draw themselves. They knew how to depict themselves. That's the black history that they won't teach you in school. You never knew this, huh? 'Cause they won't teach you this in school. This is why it's important to know your history. right, so the last little part for tonight, yeah, because it's 12:32 in the morning, and I do hope everybody is, if I'm looking at the weather right now, it's negative 11 degrees, so I hope everybody is taking a chill pill, but I hope everybody is keeping warm. And I just think, man, about the homeless people that's outside. I really pray that, you know, all the homeless people got in, but I know that's probably not the case. Um, my heart just goes out to the homeless right now because it is biting cold outside. So, um, and I'm used to this of where I'm at because, I mean, it's like nothing for us during this time. But The Unknown God, Theology Exposed by Korah. The reason the name God is more popular than his true name is because God doesn't want everyone to know his true name. It is an honor if you are fortunate enough to have his true name revealed to you. And I have already told you what his real name is. Like I said, this just reinforces, talking about things that I have been already speaking on. So you can definitely look at the rest of the videos that are provided to you at no charge, might I say. And my videos aren't even monetized. I've already given you the history and the lesson on and the meanings of the Most High's name and the real name of Christ. So, even our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, did not know his true name. When dealing with translations, names change their pronunciation when you translate it into another language. For example, if I was speaking a sentence in Hebrew and I mentioned our forefather, whose name is Jacob, in English, his name would still be pronounced Jacob. Here is how it would read. Shalom wa layala tawab Jacob, which means peace and good night, Jacob. But if I say that same sentence using Jacob's name in Hebrew, it will read like this. Shalom wa layala tawab yikwab. Here is also proof out of the Bible to edify this part of the lesson further. Revelations 9, verse 11. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue has his name Apollyon. This is an especially important thing to know when understanding theology, and I say that because the word theology, by definition, is the study of God. But let's dig into some theology and find out what God this is referring to. The word God does not translate to the Heavenly Father's true Hebrew name, but it does still have a direct connection with the God that our ancestors worship. Here's a brief description of what theology is. Theology is by definition the study of God. The word God translated into Greek is pronounced theos, which means the unknown God. Strong's Concordance, theos, God, a God original word, gives you some Greek. This is how God looks in Greek. Reading on in the definition. Part of speech, noun, feminine, noun, masculine, transliteration, theos, phonetic spelling, theos, short definition, God definition, God 23:16, theos, of unknown origin, properly God, the creator and owner of all things, long before the New Testament was written, 23:16, theos referred to the supreme being who owns and sustains all things. The term God, theos, was used by Israelites that lived among the Gentile nations, specifically Greeks. The word God or Theos came from a time when our ancestors knew little about the Heavenly Father, so our ancestors called him the unknown power. This word is pronounced Allah in Hebrew or Theos in Greek, and the English way of saying Theos is God. Exodus 6, King James Version, verse 2. And God spake unto Moses and said unto him, I am the Lord, and I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty, but by my name Ahiah was I not known to them. Isaiah 45, King James Version, verse 4. For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. The nations will always criticize our Hebrew ancestors because we believed in a God whom we could not hear, feel, or see, unlike the idol gods that the Egyptians and the Greeks worship. You know, that's what they still do this to this day. But y'all, Sky Daddy. The Egyptians, Greeks wanted nothing to do with our God. Instead, the Greeks wanted Israelites to become like them and worship many different gods to keep us away from serving our true God. The term God was used by Israelites that lived, among the Gentile nations, specifically Greeks. God or Theos was used in Athens, Greece by an Israelite by the name of Socrates and Aristotle. Yes, these men were Israelites, black men, as you can see in the pictures in this post. The statue with the beard is Socrates, and the dark-skinned man in the painting on the right is Aristotle. The Greek word theology is used by Socrates, which means the study of God or Theos, the unknown God. God began to send apostles like Peter and mainly Paul to the Israelites living among the Gentiles to teach our people that were speaking to know the Most High. God began to send apostles like Peter and mainly Paul to the Israelites living among the Gentiles to teach our people that were seeking to know the Most High. These were Gentile-minded Israelites who dwelt among the Gentiles, calling themselves Gentiles. Here is proof in some of the writings of Socrates. I wanted y'all to see these pictures, so I said, let me start up here. That nigga look black, don't he? This altar is located on Palatine Hill, Rome, where once stood the palaces of the Caesars. It dates from about 100 BC and has the inscription, "To the unknown God." The Apostle Paul saw just such an altar while waiting in Athens for Timothy and Silas to join him. He used the Athenians' religious zeal to worship gods they don't even know the name of as springboard as a springboard for telling them about the true God. And that's what it looked like. History of Theology. Main article, History of Theology. Theology translate into English from the Greek theologia, which derived from theos, meaning God, and logia, meaning utterances, sayings, or oracles. A word related to logos, meaning word, discourse, account, or reasoning, which had passed into Latin as theologia and into French as theologie. Socrates is credited with being the father of modern day philosophy and deductive reasoning. He was notorious for irritating the sophists, who were well paid and self professed wise men, by proving that they really knew nothing. While it is known that he never charged to teach, he believed it was his God given responsibility to teach. Go Socrates. Many of the sophists disliked Socrates, and they pushed for Socrates to be charged with two crimes: disrespecting the gods and corrupting the youth. Socrates was convicted and sentenced to be executed by drinking hemlock. Even though he was given an opportunity to escape, he chose to stay where he was and face his sentence. It is interesting to note in Plato's Apology concerning Socrates is when Socrates, speaks. He speaks of God and not of gods. This is why he was accused of the above charges. He was teaching about a God that no one really knows. He was teaching a monotheistic theology. Just like now, we Israelites teach about a God that no one really knows, but the majority of the world thinks that they know God. God doesn't make himself known to everyone, only those who he chooses, and that's real. That's real, because I went through that. I went through this with my whole experience, being back home, going through this with my family. Everybody telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, and now when it come out, crickets. Oh, but they fought me tooth and nail. But now that it's coming out, now that Fred Price Jr. is saying it, now it's acceptable. But see, I often think about people like that. They don't even think, what does God think about them? They sit up in these churches on Sunday, and just think they know so much and know nothing. I remind myself of Socrates going up against men who really don't know nothing. That is what I came to find going through all of this, starting to question these men that's so high and mighty, but they don't know the scriptures. They don't know nothing about God. When you talk to them, for real, on a one-on-one, they don't even pull out the Bible. It's I'm older than you, I'm wiser than you, so you should just listen to me. Don't ask no questions. Oh yeah, I'll look into that. Never get back to you. I'm telling you, before I left, people really hated me. They still do. Because I take what they claim to believe in and use it against them. And this is coming from somebody who they deem as beneath them. I'm not supposed to know more than them, but I do. And they can't take it. And I know this because the Most High revealed Himself to me. I didn't know nothing about the truth. I didn't know nothing about anything. So whether you choose to believe that or not, I really don't care, because I know what He showed me. This is not just me by myself. He showed me who to watch. He showed me. He took me. He led me. This is not me by myself. I give Him the glory, the honor, and the praise. And I'm thankful. I'm grateful that He chose me. I'm one of the chosen. And I'm going to stand on that. Can't nobody shake me from that. I know what I am. And people get mad because they really be scam artists in these churches. These leaders, they be scam artists. Sow a seed. We're going to sow a seed of 117 for Psalms 117. Scam artists. Man, these people be scam artists. It's even trickling down into the spiritual community too. It's a shame. But yeah, Socrates. But they come through and they repaint all the smart men, all the biblical figures. This was during the Renaissance era. Because that's what they do. How do you think? I just told you that these people got pushed up back into the caves, bruh. You really think William Shakespeare was white? You really think Socrates was white? That's been one of our problems this whole time. We never want to give ourselves credit. You see what their great minds do? See what their great minds create? These people don't know nothing but war. That's it, because that's what it was prophesied for them to live by the sword. I mean, it is what it is. But, yes, God, the Most High, Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya, doesn't make Himself known to everyone. Only those who He chooses. So I be feeling sorry for people who sitting up in these churches 15, 20 years. None of this stuff ain't never crossed your mind. What are you doing? Wasting time? There's a church damn near on every corner. Back in my hometown, my stomping grounds, where I grew up and was born, it's 10 churches. It's 10 churches within a few block radius. And these ain't no little rinky-dink churches. some of the biggest churches in the city. But yet, all the crime, all the violence that still occurs. I mean, John 15, King James Version, verse 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you, that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. I have fruit. I've pulled people into the truth. I know I have. I've inspired people with my lessons on Facebook. I know I have. I have watched some of the memes that I've shared, some of the pictures, some of the information, make it all the way to Africa. I've seen it. So I know I'm validated. I know I'm solidified. I don't need nobody to tell me, because I know I am. He has shown me that. History of Theology, main article. History of Theology continued. In the city of Athens, the Hellenic Jews built a temple to this unknown God that Socrates was alluding to. The way the area was selected and the temple was named is that the citizens let loose a group of sheep in the city, and wherever the sheep stopped to graze was where they would build the temple and dedicate it to the god of that area. As the sheep were moving around the city, they ultimately settled at a part which was not dedicated to any god. The temple that was built was dedicated to Agnostos Theos, the unknown God. Here's more proof that our people dwelt among the Greeks. We were forced to learn a different language, nationality, and serve idol gods, just like now here in the United States. Here's the United Nations right out of the Bible. First Maccabees, King James Version. And then I'll be having to hear people, I know Maccabees. Well, if you know Maccabees, then why don't you teach it? Because they don't know it. You learned it in seminary school, but you don't know it. So it's one thing to have came across and read something than to know it. First Maccabees 1, King James Version, 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his law. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. Just like here in America, the big melting pot, we have been conditioned to be one people through democracy. The Greeks also tried to create a one world order. Notice in verse 43 it says that our people consented as well. This happened during the Greek Empire 330 years before Christ. By the time Christ came, there had been many of our people that had forgotten their true culture and identity. But those that still lived in Israel and still knew the laws and our culture considered those Israelites in a Gentile state of mind, foreigners, aka Gentiles or traitors, and they wanted nothing to do with them. Reading on in Maccabees, 1 Maccabees 1, verse 44. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days. So that's like somebody coming through on your Sunday, first Sunday, when y'all do the communion and stuff, and trying to stop y'all from doing that. And You see where it says profane the Sabbaths and the festival days? Yeah, that means to turn away from them, just like how we've done. We've stopped doing them. And pollute the sanctuary and holy people, which has been done. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice. Swine's flesh and unclean beast, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Profanation. To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. Our people were getting involved in the Greek Olympics, following the holidays of the nations, and eating unclean meats, just like we do now. Even now, our people are in a Gentile state of mind. A Gentile, by definition, is any nationality or nation other than an Israelite. Reading on in Maccabees, verse 50. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. Verse 52. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land. Verse 53, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for succor. So as you can see, if we didn't follow after the Greek customs, we had to flee, and any person found keeping the Hebrew laws would be deleted. This happened to our people that lived outside of the borders of Israel for over 300 years. Hellenic Jews began to teach their children that they were not Israelites and took on false nationalities, just like today. Hello, African what? A Mexican what? Colored what? Jigaboo what? They even considered themselves Greek by nationality, so you can imagine what type of mind state our people were in at that time. Just like how we don't realize that we are Jews today. Let's look up the definition of Hellenic and you will see. Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Hellenic. Jews who made Greek their language. Our people in a Gentile state of mind were seeking God while they were among the nations. But the Most High had purposely hid his face as well as his name from among the other nations because he did not want his name defiled by the Gentile nations. The Gentile nations could care less about our God because, like I said before, the Gentile nations had their own gods and idols that they worshiped. That's why they was in those churches worshiping with snakes. Showed you that back on a few videos. The same thing happened here in America. In this lesson, you will see the actual picture of the altar that was set up to the unknown God by the Hellenic black Jews. Some of our people still ignorantly worship God, but it was from a perspective of when we did not know God like our ancestors. Here's proof of that same altar that our people set up to God in the Bible. When Paul went to instruct our people who lived in Athens, Greece, Paul edified the understanding of theology to our people because he knew the true Hebrew name of the Father that they had been worshiping in Athens, Greece. And here's the proof. Acts 17, verse 16. Now while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. Therefore disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him. Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him, and some said, what will this babbler say? Others, some, he seemeth to be a setter forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Yeshua and the resurrection. And they took him and brought him to Areopagus, saying, may we know what this new doctrine whereof thou speakest is. For thou bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know, therefore, what these things mean. For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else, but either to tell or to hear some new thing. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, To the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship him, declare I unto you. God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands. Mm, mm, mm. So notice how out of all the other idols that were in Athens, Paul focuses on this one altar that is set up to the unknown God. Keep in mind, Paul did not speak against this particular altar. He edified and taught the Israelites in Athens about who the unknown God really is. He taught that this particular altar that they ignorantly worship is indeed an altar set up to the Most High. Paul was breaking down theology to the theologians in Athens, Greece, just like we do with these modern day theologians who ignorantly serve the unknown God through faith. That is why I use the word God sometimes while instructing my people who do not know the Father's true name. God was not a name given by the Greek nations, Caucasians, but by our people. So, to answer the question, no, the word God is not a name of blasphemy. I simply use it so that I can relate to my people that are in a Gentile state of mind. Romans 10, King James Version, verse 2. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. Isaiah 28 and 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. In retrospect, the Most High didn't even want the Gentile nations to know his name, because you will know nothing about him unless he reveals himself to you. And that is so true. The study of theology is a way of studying the Most High from an unknown perspective, and ironically, it is also what every priest who attends theology school has to undergo in order to obtain priesthood status. In theology, the goal is to learn as little about God as you can, because he is unknown to them. Ugh, I can go in on them, but they're not even worth it. Romans 11, verse 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Verse 8. According as it is written, God hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. Ezekiel 20, King James Version, verse 9. But I wrought for my name's sake that it should not be polluted before the heathen, among they were in whose sight I made myself known unto them, and bringing them forth out of the land of Egypt. I know the Father's true name, but this is why I rarely speak his name, only among my Israelite peers. God hid his name because, like now, his name is being used during the act of sect. His name is being used during the act of sex. Some people curse the name of God, and others use the name of God in vain. So, yes, God hid his name under an unknown title for this reason. And that's true. I mean, a lot of people do use Zephaniah 3, King James Version, verse 9. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. Hashtag Wake Up Israel. Paul gave the understanding that this particular altar that the Greek speaking Hellenic Jews ignorantly worshiped is indeed an altar set up to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Paul was edifying theology to the theologians in Athens, Greece, using Catholic, aka universal practical knowledge, aka the truth, that could only be found in the writings of the Israelites. This universal knowledge was given to the Israelites by the Creator of heaven and earth to write, and the understanding of the writings that Christ taught, he taught to Peter and the apostles. Christ did not create Christianity, neither did he deviate from any of the laws and prophecies of the Torah and Tanakh. Below is a lesson that explains who Paul and the apostles were teaching when they traveled to the different regions of the Fertile Crescent. The apostles were teaching other Israelites who lived among the Gentiles, which lived and learned the Greco-Roman way of life, to denounce the theological way of understanding the universal knowledge of the truth. The white Greek / Romans and Hellenic Jews referred to the apostles as Christians, first in Antioch, as a term of mockery because they taught this new universal doctrine that stemmed from Christ, the Son of God. But notice when you read that verse, when it says that they called them Christians, they didn't respond back because they knew they weren't Christians. Christians were originally Israelites who were called Nigers by, niggers, by the white Greeks of Antioch. Antioch is where the first term Christian is used. All right, so that's it for now. And so I'm going to pick up um, the two types of Gentiles, the New World Order exposed. So I'll pick up on that when I come back on next. But yeah, I'm about to get out of here because it is 1:28 in the morning. And my little fat self, I did put I put me little frozen pizza in the oven. So I'm about to eat that and about to go to sleep. I'm thankful that I have the day off tomorrow. You know, me and my little 9 to 5 job. You know, and I just want to say, you know, I know what's going to be happening today. Actually, you know, I know what's coming. There's a lot of talk about, you know, certain black artists performing, and I just feel like, you know, people get so. I'm against cancel culture. I am, because I mean, the people that should be canceled don't get canceled, and people be very selective about who they want to cancel and why they want to cancel. Just like, for instance, in the LGBTQIA community, oh, let the baby or one of them say something, you know, then always cancel them. But yet they can sit up on this Bigo app and they can fight. They can do health reads, death reads, dox each other's phone numbers, you know, send all kind of porn and naked pictures to your family. I mean, they just do the most vicious things to each other. But then, oh, when a straight person just says faggot to them, oh, you're bullying me, you know. But it's a front. I always say that's a whole front. It's a front. You know, the LGBTQIA community loves to put on this front and the spotlight in the public, but within our community, it's nothing but ravenous wolves trying to devour each other. You know, can't even have genuine friends because the friends look at you and as competition and stuff like that. So it's just a bunch of that goes on. So to me, I don't agree with cancel culture. And would I have done it? No. You know, should they have done it? In my opinion, no. I don't think they should. But hey, get your money, because it's people out here. Oh, you're selling out. Okay. Well, what about Nene? Is she selling out? Black women? Is she selling out? Y'all was mad at Chris and Michelle. What about Nene? What about these Real Housewives of Atlanta that don't put our black women in a good light? What about, you know, some of these rappers and these video vixens? You know, these girls on pumps and the bumps, pumps and the bumps. What about that? Are they putting our people in good light? In a good light? No. This community has been sold out on itself. The community sold its own self out. You know, and people just want something to complain about. Do I think they should have done it? Hell no. No, I don't. But, I mean, it's not like we don't see these people characteristics. Snoop always been about the buck. He always been about $1. So, it ain't nothing changed. You know? And, I mean, the only one that really made me mad, the one that made me mad was Soulja Boy. Because he gonna try to make it seem like nobody did nothing for him. These same people that you talking down on and showing your money to, because that's what they all do. They remind me of our victims, you know, of ape victims, or just like acting all outlandish and stuff, you know, because it's like, oh yeah, you know, if y'all got money and stuff like that. But the people who bought your music, who put you on, they the reason why you got money in your, and yeah, you probably took the oath, that too, you know, but the normal people who work 9 to 5s that y'all try to shit on, it's those people that's making you who you are today. We bought vaping apes because of this dude. We bought this music. I mean, and then I even heard. I think I remember him talking to something about a video game. Even, we people supported Soldier Boy. I know you mad and stuff like that because people talking crap, but when you get to talk about ain't nobody never did nothing for you. I mean, we could have took our hard-earned money from our 9 to 5s and went and bought something else. So it is what it is. But then these people Nelly trying to justify, oh, well, he didn't do the 1994 crime bill. No, but he is on that project 2025. I don't care if he say he ain't. It had his name in there, what, over 100 plus times? You're in it. You're involved in it. Think about the dismantling of the Board of Education in St. Louis, a historical town such as St. Louis, and the Civil Rights Movement, and slavery, how people escaped up north. Oh, you want to take all of that out of the history books, bruh? I mean, I get it. Get your money, but y'all trying to justify it? That's not a good look. It's not a good look. But I mean, he take the most vile. I mean, of our people. I mean, murder was the case that he gave him. And in his lyrics, he was talking. He told you he had a conversation with. He took the oath. What you expect? What do you expect? I mean, listen to his lyrics. Listen to what he about. I seen on one interview when him and Tupac was. He was sitting there and he had on a dot like a hat and his hair was long and Tupac was sitting there. Tupac was doing all. He was just sitting there quiet. I knew then. These people that our people glamorize, and didn't Nelly have some history of putting his hands on females? And isn't it ironic that I guess I heard an alleged lawsuit or something about him putting his hand up a girl's dress? Oh, so you want to grab him by the pussy too, huh? So all of y'all have that in common. Oh, okay. I got it. Gotcha. Like I said, man, get your money. Because, I mean, how we going to be mad? And this is all connected. I mean, look at some of these black pastors joining these Greek organizations. All those guys run together. The ones that you see rapping and stuff like that, they all run together. Even in your politicians, you think they're at war with each other, but they be backstage talking, chopping it up. They don't hate each other. They got the public fooled because y'all don't care about nothing but Maury and First 48 and degrading yourselves for money. I was saying these black pastors has sold out and they joining these Greek organizations, and I think it's like a two-way street because these Greek organizations could be receiving donations, from them because it's in everywhere, y'all. The money is not moneying, as what Lovely T be saying, but it's a two-way street. These pastors could be paying money to these organizations in turn for their benefits, quote unquote. And, for a lot of these DL brothers that's pastors and stuff like that, that's just a bigger ring, bigger, bigger lake that they are now able to swim their way to. And I mean, I talk about the boule and, and all the connections that these brothers be getting into. Y'all seen that movie, the one where Janet Jackson asked her dude, do he be doing the business? It's men like that. Men like that. With that look, that build, that type of lifestyle. It's not, it wasn't the men like me, so, and they get into that work because it's a lot of DL and hidden things that go on in that world. So they're all connected. It's all connected. So yeah, these people, they're sellouts. They've been sold out. I mean, I don't understand. And then the black community, they just, to get this, which is I love. I'm for my, hello. I'm for my people, but at the same point in time, black people just get this whole, like, oh, I can't believe you. Oh, but you're sitting there supporting your boy LeBron with that tattoo on his chest, with that Babylonian tattoo on his chest, and he be doing the whole throwing it up to the gods, the sixes. We all saw it. Oh, but because it's him, you gonna turn a blind eye. Just like that one that came out and grabbed the whole man's private part. Turn a blind eye to that too. You watched rigged entertainment. It's called sports entertainment. They don't call that entertainment in college, right? Or in high school, right? Because it's entertainment. You are fooled. You are being pacified. The TV ain't even plugged up in here. That be my thing. That just be when black folk. I mean, do I think, like I said, do I think they should have done it? No. No. What about our people that go on these shows? Be a playboy, Zeus, Love and Hip Hop. What about all of them? Are they not putting black people in a bad light too? Why is this so selective? Is there a list somewhere? And who came up with the list? And I'm not defending them at all. I'm not. But I'm just saying, why the selective outrage? And it's like, black people sell themselves out every day. Every day. You like them sports? Okay. You like football? Okay. Niggas on the field. On the plantation. That's what you're supporting. Oh yeah, you like LeBron? Slave. Can't even say no homo without getting fined thousands and thousands of dollars. And a dime of that ain't going to an LGBTQ or IA. Especially the black ones. It's all rigged to me. And To me, the biggest sellout, was Martin Luther King. I've showed you already. I've already showed you, but I'll show you again. I'll show you again. In honor of Martin Luther King. Hey. Can't forget about King. Let's go to it. Because I want to know. Let's see. We know what the gay people are doing down in Atlanta. The thing they know about Martin Luther King is the street or the boulevard. Let's see what I can find. Ooh, it's 1:48 in the morning. Y'all got me up. Man. You know what? Fine. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong one. That's why. Hold on. I gotta switch accounts. Cheerio. Cheerio. Here we go. See, he took the oath. He took the buyout. There you go. Another one of my rants about Martin Luther King. Doesn't that go hand in hand with take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest, lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee, but ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves, for thou shalt worship no other God. Most High don't even want us mentioning other gods. So do you really think he agreed with MLK learning with Gandhi, who was a Hindu? He did not believe in Christ, believed. Learning what Gandhi believed, but once again, you will turn a blind eye to that even though you see the result of his dream, which is chaos. Shouldn't he, as a Christian reverend, walk in the footsteps of Christ? Now later on, did he realize what he had done? And I believe he regretted and repented. It's just that before he could team up with Uncle Mac, he was deleted. They would have been unstoppable. Because see, he was Martin Luther King, and I say this all the time. He was brought in just like Gandhi was brought in. Gandhi was brought in to preach that nonviolent resistance to his people, to make his people docile so the government can come in and beat up on them. And his Martin Luther King's writings, a lot of them was based on some dude named Howard Thurman, and Howard Thurman was he believed in Gandhi too. Look, this is my video, my very first video that I posted on here 9 months ago, and so you can check this out. It's 9 minutes 46 seconds. I pretty much tell you pretty much some of the things that I just showed you. And I talk about the PBS documentary that came on about him as well. Just in case y'all don't believe me. So, yeah, I mean, do I think they should have, done it? No. But we don't know them situations. And I mean, I know Snoopy probably do got, Snoopy even be on Bigo. Like, I'm sorry, that man is do anything for a buck. That's just how I look at it. And, Nelly, he might have needed the money. So, I mean, he said, I don't know. I think he said he didn't, but, child, stop it. But, to Soulja Boy, that was some hurtful shit. That was hurtful because, I remember supporting him for real, buying his music and stuff like that. So, but it is what it is. Like I said, a lot of these celebrities, when they back is against the wall, you really find out, how they feel about their people. It is what it is. But anyway, that's my take on it. Let's see what's gonna happen. But you have a good night, and thank you for your time, for your effort, for your support. Deuces.